Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Salam alaikum, shalom, aloha, good evening. It's Sunday, markets are still closed. And in this video I will give you a very nice overview of all the major forex markets. You won't find this kind of content in many other places. So let's get started. We're going to look at different time frames. This week we're going to have some news items on Friday, such as the unemployment claims, so keep that in mind. And we're in a situation where the US election is over and we had a lot of dollar strength in the market. So let's get started. This is euro dollar on the day chart. We see it's trading around 1.053. It came all the way down, okay, it took all the lows, and longies kept on buying, which is why the smart money algos pushed euro dollar further down, and they could do so because the economic data also allowed them to do so. However, as you can see here, the green squeeze line starts to point downwards. Okay, so we see the first sign of a typical down money switch. So this is very relevant also for all the other markets, okay, because this week we could see a switch in the market structure, and therefore, for example, for all reversals, etc. So, below the price now, after they retested the low, we now have some shorties. Longies begin to leave the market. If more longies leave the market, and maybe even more shorties come in trying to expensively sell, thinking that this momentum should continue, we're going to see an upward move this week, maybe driven by economic news or some other unscheduled comments. Okay, so that means that possibly we're going to see a pullback. Now, as we know, if longies keep on buying and everybody wants to buy cheap, then they're going to retest the lows. Okay, this has happened for a while now, and the same principle holds. The squeeze can still be fueled, but I wouldn't be surprised if after this massive down move and after euro dollar retested the low and levels out and we have upper targets, as soon as longies close their positions, they're gonna do a pullback. Now here's the thing, if we have the pullback, if shorties try to sell the pullback down, so that's a reverse of buying a dip, yeah, if shorties try to sell the pullback down to the low, we could have a proper reversal to the upper MTS. Okay, this is not impossible if we have sellers coming in. In that case, you know, they would fill the order gap zones, they would fill the option strike targets, and even the MTS on the 1 hour chart if we have the shorties. Okay, so that needs to happen first. This is important. Okay, otherwise it won't unfold like that. Just keep that in mind, okay, because the market is now finally a bit sensitive to the money shorties. Alright, so let's look at related markets first, because this analysis kind of holds. So looking at cable, for example, I mean, it came down so much, it took those two lows on the day chart. This LTS is a little bit far away, so unless there's like a gap or something, it's a bit far away, and unless, you know, the squeeze line doesn't suddenly go up like this, cable could also do a pullback. Okay, doesn't need to, but can do it. Okay, of course, if we suddenly have massive bias in cable, they will take the LTS and just go down. That remains to be seen. Okay, so looking at this kind of analysis, looking for example here at Australian dollar on the day chart. Yes, here we have an LTS just below the low of this spike from earlier the year. So if longies try to buy Aussie, it comes lower, otherwise it can do a pullback. Okay, as soon as more shorties come in, it could at least do a pullback. So that remains to be seen. Okay, on the lower time frames we have 3 option strike targets long, which are open. We have an open order gap zone and an MTS, and we have a bit of shorties already coming in, but this is not enough. Okay, we need longies to leave, so the green squeeze line to point down and red bars to come in, the beginning of a down money switch, then they're going to fill the option strike targets. And then once this has been done, it depends on what the down money does next. Yeah, Does the dumb money try to sell the pullback to a trend resumption? Then we're going to have a proper reversal up. But if the dumb money tries to even buy a reversal, they're going to retest the low. It's literally like that, okay? So pay some attention to the dumb money flow this week, okay? Considering that. The same analysis, of course, holds as well for Kiwi. Let's just look at it. So Kiwi dollar has taken those two lows already, you see, but has also a little bit more longies. So, but the same analysis holds. Those 5-6 lows have been cleared. If longies collapse, they can do a normal pullback up. Okay. Seems a bit too early right now, but this week is a possible candidate. Now dollar cut, the same in reverse. Okay, dollar cut as expected came up against all these sellers. Dumb money selling a short squeeze. Okay, squeeze against the shorties. Complete breakout to the upside, taking all the highs. Okay, taking LTS and so on. Now they can go up a little further and take the next stops, but once shorties get kicked out because of those up moves and because stops and margin calls which happen with these extended moves, once this red line collapses down, we can see a reversal down in dollar cut. Now we have some Canadian news, and also this will be a bumpy ride because there are old shorties in the way. So even if it comes down, it will do an aggressive pullback, then come down again. Okay, so this kind of scenario doesn't need to happen this week neither, but it could. Yeah, like for example, looking at dollar yen with this down move, the beautiful filling of those option strike targets with a beautiful trade against the longies. A similar scenario could also unfold for dollar cut this week. Yeah, we have also an option strike target on the hour chart, MTS and so on, but here still too many shorties with appetite. Never trade against the squeeze. Remember the golden rule. Okay. And as I said, dollar yen, the same thing in reverse. So dollar yen has longies. Okay, even though there's no squeeze going on, they could go down and clear the moving averages, which is equivalent of euro dollar going up. Okay. So this is basically the analysis for those main pairs. Let's go through some of the other ones. Bitcoin as expected, long-term bullish, beautiful up move, beautiful. Now we have some longies coming in, so they do a pullback now down at the moment. Euro pound, okay, that's a very beautiful example. We had a collapse of the longies, therefore an up move, okay? Long is leaving, therefore up move. That's what we're looking for in euro dollar. Long is leaving, boom, collapse in the squeeze line, therefore up move, okay? For our reversal, energy takes over. That was a nice long trade this week. You can see it better here on the hour chart. Oh no, in the way. So long is leaving, bam, price goes up, okay? Now let's continue this analysis. So looking at euro yen, pound yen, of course this is a mix of this analysis, yeah, because both main pairs are in that. So let's look at it one by one. First, pound yen. So pound yen was bearish and came down as expected. As you can see, longies are in the market, even though not many, and they're clearing the moving averages. So it can come down a little more, clearing those moving averages. If dollar yen goes down, as I said before, pound yen will continue to go down. Okay, if no more shorties come in. So it kind of looks bearish, depending on the other pairs. Euro yen, so a little bit different. So we have euro, dollar, and dollar yen in there. So let's look at the euro yen day chart. It took those moving averages. Okay, it looks a bit bearish, so it can come off a little more, especially if dollar yen goes down further. Okay, so these are the yen pairs. Now let's look at the other derivative pairs. Euro Aussie looks a bit bearish, has an MTS here, but once it's taken, it also has an upper MTS. So very, very neutral. Okay, Euro Aussie is a bit neutral. If Australian dollar goes up nicely, of course they will go all the way down. Okay, the reverse of that. And pound Aussie, let's also look that for completeness. Very neutral. Okay, it went down. It's not as biased as the other pairs because it also doesn't have nice short-term targets. It took the MTS. So pound Aussie is neutral. Okay. What's missing? The metals. Okay, let's look at the metals. So it was easy to predict that gold would go down further. This is exactly what happened. Okay, they took the low against the longies, squeeze against the longies, long squeeze. But as you can see, if they take those lower stops, here are some shorties. So if they revisit the low, if then shorties come in again, it could go up. But that has to happen first, okay? Seems to way too early now. And as you can see, maybe in this particular case, euro, dollar, and gold will do that together, yeah? The up move. Maybe slightly delayed for one of them, but you see the general analysis and the validity. Silver came down as expected against the longies, okay, expanding longies, boom, boom, boom. They take the low, they take all the stops. As you can see, similar story. So once they cleared the low again, if shorties come in, they can finally do a pullback up, okay? But none of those two seem to be very tradable, so I wouldn't really trade the metals on that. But that's just my analysis anyways, for the ones who insist on it. All right? So Friday we have a lot of news items, including the US claims. And we can also have some flat price action in the week as before, but as you can see, it's all about the question, okay, do we gonna see a bit of a switch in the overall market structure, hence pullbacks? And then secondly, if that happens, how will the dumb money react to this? Will they get lured into selling, in case of which a proper reversal would even reach the higher time frames? Okay, and we see a 4-hour reversal like here in Australian dollar. That would be interesting. We already see a bit of shorties coming, okay, and the low has been cleared. Or does the dumb money aggressively continue to buy? That's a big question, okay? In case of which they're going to clear the low again and again and again. So for that we would need like aggressive buyers on the dumb money side, yeah, bigger green bars in the dollar pairs. Okay, so let's see what will happen in the end. It's an interesting situation in the markets. We had some proper OST MTS runs and squeeze moves last week. We had unusual trend continuation driven by squeeze energy. So as we know, once this market phase ends and the squeeze exhausts, then the 4-hour reversal energy dominates. It's always a movement back and forth between the two market phases if you want to keep it really simple. Okay, we know how this works. Okay, I hope you liked it. If yes, please give a like, share, post this. And I wish you a great trading week. As always, do the right thing, okay? Do not gamble, do not over leverage. Have an exit strategy, okay? Respect the game and respect your own mindset. Have a good, stable mindset, a stable trading psychology, and proper risk management. Lots of love. Take care.